Good afternoon, LIU Post. This is your weekly campus news report. I'm Joe Icart.
And I'm Sophia Strauss. Members of the predominantly African-American fraternity Kappa Alpha Psi sought to address topics students could find difficult to talk about publicly or without a safe space. Among the topics raised were double standards, racial inequality, and gender roles surrounding both men and women. Both the president and the vice president of the fraternity chapter prepared topics and scenarios for a crowd of more than a dozen attendees. Those in attendance talked about matters of masculinity and femininity, such as whether men who express their emotions should be viewed as unmasculine or feminine. Chapter President Jared Barker said going forward, people can expect a Kappa Week further into the academic year with a panel discussion covering similar topics to those discussed at this event.
There's good news for students living in Kings Hall and South Residence Complex. The university addressed issues with mold growing in several residence buildings. Mold has been an issue in Kings Hall since the beginning of the fall semester. As previously reported by the Pioneer, 2 students moved out of their residence buildings and into Nassau Hall because of their concerns about the mold. Despite similar situations being reported by several other students, it is unclear why the time it takes to fix these situations differ and how one issue is prioritized over the other. The Pioneer reached out to Directors of Facility Services, Roy Fergus, but he did not receive a comment.
A series of renovations were completed at the Tillis Center for Performing Arts as part of a 5-year agenda set in place by council overseers. The renovations are part of a strategic plan to set the new direction of the theater. The first upgrade began in the summer of 2018 with improvements to the concert hall. Upgrades to the projection system and the Krasnov Theater were completed in 2018 as well. Recently, the patio outside the theater was upgraded with new brickwork. Future plans for the Tillis Center include enlarging the stage as well as replacing the orchestra shell. These renovations are set to be completed by fall 2020. All of the funding for these projects will come from private donations and grants given to LIU.
It may seem like a professor's work is never done, but Dr. Scott Carlin, Associate Professor of Geography, takes that premise to another level. In addition to teaching classes on campus, he also recently organized a conference with the United Nations to work towards creating a more sustainable future. The conference took place in Salt Lake City, Utah from August 26th to 28th and was hosted to discuss the UN's 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which include ending world hunger, ensuring that children receive a quality education, and ending gender inequality. Carlin wants students on campus to know that they are able to attend different events hosted by the United Nations. LIU will also be awarding 2 students with UN badges, allowing them to access to UN events and buildings. Interested students should contact Carlin at scott.carlin@liu.edu for more information.
Members of the Post Theater Company will pay homage to the many choreographers whose work graced dozens of Broadway stages by putting on a dance cabaret. Students are recreating some of the most iconic dance numbers in Broadway history. The Dance Cabaret, Once More from the Top, a tribute to Broadway dance legends, features 7 famous choreographers from shows including A Chorus Line, Oklahoma, West Side Story, Hamilton, and more. The choreo is physically demanding. Senior musical theater major Sarah Franklin is performing the solo Music and Mirror and said, though it's difficult, it's incredibly rewarding. She said, I cried a lot in the early stages of this process, but through the tears came more of a drive to push my body to its max. The cabaret runs November 8th and 9th and November 14th to the 16th at 7:30 p.m. and November 10th and 17th at 3 p.m. on the Little Theater main stage. General admission is $15, $12 for seniors, and $10 for students. Tickets can be purchased at tix55.com/PTC700 or at the Little Theater box office.
3 senior photography majors showcased their photography collections in the SAL Gallery. Jessica Chimelli, Crystal Gonzalez, and Chris McMullen had a reception for their work on Wednesday, October 30th. Chiminelli's collection, Out of Their Element, is a series of photos of sports and athletes with a twist. Chiminelli, who was an athlete, said, I feel the connection with the athletes. I wanted to do something a little different than just shooting on the field, doing what they do. Gonzalez's collection, Blooming Fantasies, portrays colorful images of flowers, but the colors in the photos do not match the colors of the actual flowers. Gonzalez edited the photos through a process called solarization, which inverts the colors. In McMullen's collection, The Way I See, he photographed his subjects without posing them or giving them direction. McMullen said, you can make beautiful artwork no matter where you are. I wasn't searching for anything.
Now over to Elise Person with sports.
Welcome to the Sharks Sports Report. This week in sports news, The field hockey team defeated Bryant University in a 1-0 win on Sunday, October 27th, to secure their spot in the Northeast Conference Championship Tournament and become the first team in program history to reach playoffs. Freshman forward Felicia King scored the game's only goal, sending the Sharks to the postseason. After having 2 assists this year, King was excited to finally find the back of the net and score her first collegiate goal. She said, "To be honest, it means a lot to me and the team as well that we won that game. And it was really important to me that I got my first goal." The Field Hockey NEC Championship Tournament will be played on Friday, November 8th and Sunday, November 10th at Wagner College in Staten Island. And for those who can't make the trip, the games will be announced on WCWP. Our Sharks Student Athlete of the Week is men's soccer forward Papa Nadoy. After scoring 2 goals and helping the Sharks shut out Bryant University 2-0 on Monday, October 28th, Nadoy was named NEC Co-Rookie of the Week for the second time this season. The Senegal native plays an important role in the Sharks' offensive end as he currently leads the team with 7 goals on the season. With only 1 game left in the regular season, the Sharks have already punched their ticket into the NEC Championship Tournament. Nadoy and the Sharks will close out the regular season on Sunday at home against St. Francis, Brooklyn, before the NEC Championship Tournament begins on November 15th, with the location and opponent to still be announced. Coming up this weekend, the equestrian team hosts their first and only home show of the season on Sunday, November 10th. The Sharks have had a great season so far as they have finished as the high point team in each show they have competed in this season. The LIU men's basketball team looks to take their first win of the season this Friday, November 8th at home against University of Massachusetts Lowell. The Sharks come into this game with only 1 loss delivered to them by the University of Rhode Island this past Tuesday, November 5th. That's this week's Sports Report. I'm Elise Person. Now back to Sophia and Joe.
That's all the news we have for today. I'm Sophia Strauss.
And I'm Joe Icart. Have a great day. We'll see you next week.